Hey y'all, hello. Welcome to another edition of Anjanette Speaks. I am so excited for everyone to join me tonight. I know that it's a change in time. We're trying to figure this thing out, trying to see what works best for viewership and for interaction and all of that good stuff. So I wanted to make sure that you guys had a chance to sit back and relax and let's talk about things that, that are interracial and with our community. But this show is not for just the Black community. This show is for all of us, right? This is for women in general, but the African American woman is actually experiencing the Superwoman syndrome. So the name of this broadcast today is Superwoman, Save Yourself. Superwoman, save yourself. Hey, y'all, thank you for watching. Listen, we're going to get into it because, I had to really do some studying for this one because I didn't know what I was going to talk about at first. And then, the Lord was like, hey, Superwoman syndrome. So when I looked it up, I realized that your girl got Superwoman syndrome. So I figured, well, if I got it, and I can learn how to manage, and I'm starting to learn how to manage, then I'm sure that you guys can learn too, right? So the Superwoman syndrome was first coined in 1984. There was a book that was wrote by, her name is Margie Hanson Shavitz, and it's called the Superwoman syndrome. And what the Superwoman syndrome is it's a woman that neglects herself, but wants to perform or takes on all of these different roles, whether it's conflicting roles or roles in life, career, education, and she's juggling all of those at one time in hopes to be a perfectionist, right? In hopes that actually being successful at all of them and basically overdoing it. So the Superwoman syndrome is when we take on too much. So why are Black women in particular suffering from the Superwoman syndrome? And why is the Superwoman syndrome killing Black people, Black women? Why? So if we look at history, and they talk about how our trauma and our ancestors' trauma, we had to bear the back, right, of our families in slavery because what happened? They was raping us and we would give ourselves, right, for our men. So in that, the trauma, it is proven, in fact, there's a study that shows that trauma is passed on generationally, and we'll talk about that at another time. But trauma's passed on generational. So what your great grandmother went through is in you. What your great grandmother went through is in you because your mother has passed those down. Your grandmother has passed that trauma down. So now you've got the Superwoman syndrome in 2022, where women are juggling. We have become the moguls, right? We are the mom. We are the sister. We are the friend. We are everything. We are every woman. We are in the community. We are preachers, teachers. We have so many things that we are doing, socializing. We are doing it all. At what cost to us, though? So what makes the woman different from the woman that is just in all these organizations and juggling things and doing well? And why is the Superwoman the one that has the stress? Well, first off, stress, anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, all of those are interrelated. The Superwoman is putting everybody first and herself last. The superwoman is doing and going overboard for what, one position or several positions. She's going overboard. She can do so many things at one time. She's everywhere. Do you know a superwoman? But what is it about us that makes us so susceptible, other than our past, to being a superwoman? Why? I say it starts with childhood, and it's the voices and the things that we tell ourselves. If you were told that you were lazy as a child, then it's possible that in your mind and in your body, in your spirit, you're trying to prove to yourself that you're not lazy. So you then go and start having all these different things, doing all these different things to prove to yourself that you're busy, you're not lazy, there's nothing wrong with you. You're accomplishing, you're making things happen, and you just all over the place. Why? Because there's something going on inside of here. There's something happening. So for myself, I can say that for whatever reason, I had a value in a woman that had her degree. That was my standard that I never met because I don't have a degree to this day. So what I found myself doing as I was reflecting on this lesson is that I was overcompensating for not having a degree. I was a hell of a property manager, and I got all kinds of awards and accolades for that. I must have had a million things, and I'm always adulting. I'm responsible. I'm this. I'm everything other than what I felt a degree would bring, right? So I felt like a degree would bring me money, responsibility. I would look like I was accomplished. I fought with that for a very, very long time. On top of a lot of other things, I feel like the superwoman syndrome is really probably why I got sick. Really probably why I was suffering the way that I was, on top of everything else, trying to be everything for everybody but me. So who's gonna come and save the superwoman? Who's gonna come and save the superwoman? So the superwoman is also independent, right? So she's an independent woman, which means that we don't necessarily depend on a man. So then there's that battle, right, of relationships and her being an alpha male and the strong female and all of these things, these negative connotations. When we think of the superwoman, we think of what? The red cape. I don't have a cape, but I bought my red jacket. I'm Superwoman. I've got my cape on and I'm going to save everybody. Going to save my dad, going to save my kids, going to save my son. I'm going to save boyfriends. I'm going to save the sinner. I'm going to save my pastors. I'm going to save these people, hurting people, wounded people. I'm going to save my employees. I'm going to save everybody. And everybody's everything is on my shoulders, on my back. I'm going to save these people. What is happening to me, though? I'm depleted. Got high blood pressure, right? I got high blood pressure, depression, trauma. So there were studies that showed that the Superwoman syndrome for African American women is a trauma response from our history and the things that we went through in our history. So I have been hospitalized twice in like the last, probably every year, for uh having like a headache and like anxiety attacks that mimic a stroke. So my face would droop, and I would lose activity in my limbs or on my left side, things like that. And I would come out of it after I've rested for like a day or two, and maybe one time I was in there for 4 days because I had to try to walk again. Like it was a real stroke, and I had a stroke when I was 25, having my daughter. So, with that being said, how can I then, with all of that going on, decide that I'm going to put my cape on and save other people? Put my cape on. Who's going to save me? So then I've got the diabetes, and I've got anxiety, and I don't know how to say no to people, and I've got high blood pressure, I've got heart palpitations, I've got high stress, which is causing brain damage and memory loss. I don't know how to delegate. I can do it all. I got it, move. I got it, move. Get out the way, I got it. Never mind. I'll do it. Not asking for help because I don't trust anybody to do it as like me. I'm at work doing more than I need to do because I don't trust my employees to do it correctly. So I'm taking on everybody's stuff. But I'm here to encourage you, the Superwoman, you got to save yourself. How do we save ourselves? How do we do this? So the first thing is you have to divorce that idea in your mind that you have to do it all. You don't have to do it all. I know that it all seems like it needs to be done right now. And I know that you have to be in 3 different places on Saturday at 3 different times. And I know that you still want to show up to all your friends' birthday parties, and you still want to show up to church, and you still want to show up for your children, and you still want to show up for your parents, and you still want to show up for everybody. Some things you have to not do. We have to learn to say no. No is a complete sentence. No, no, can't do that. That was probably the worst thing. The best thing and the worst thing that I could ever learn in the last couple of years was no. Nope, I'm not doing that. And it took me being in the hospital every freaking year, on top of everything else, and trying to show up for everybody, trying to be there, trying to intercede, trying to do all this for everybody else. But there was no one around, no one coming to save me. Nobody. It's all on me. It's all on me. And I'm telling myself, I can do this. That's fine. I got it. Don't worry about it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. So and so didn't do that right. Can you help? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll take that. And I'm taking all this stuff on, right? Say no. The next thing is take off this costume. So what does the Superwoman syndrome, what does that make you feel like, right? So that made me feel wanted. It makes me feel smart. It makes me feel um capable. It makes me feel like I'm the one with the answers. And I'm a perfectionist. On top of that, I got the nerve to want to do it right, all of it right, right? And I love it. However, I can still be impactful without wanting to be perfect. I can still be influenceable without wanting to be perfect. And the whole thing of the perfection, the overachieving is driving you. It's driving you. So you have to get to the place where that in your mind, that picture that you have of Superwoman, got to take the cape off, baby. Put the cape down. Don't you hate when you gotta put it up. Ooh, put my cape up. My cape, sometimes it get tears and I got to fix it because I got to get out here and save people. That's not my job. My job is to do what I'm supposed to do. That's it. So listen, the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna ask for help. Child. Ask who for help? Who am I gonna ask for help? Help with what? Because they ain't gonna do it right. They ain't gonna do it in the time that I want them to do it. Because on top of that, I got the nerve to be demanding and patient. My sister says I'm impatient. I want it right then. So then now I'm impatient and I gotta ask somebody to help. and do it on their time. So my dad got sick and my brother was helping him a lot. But it came a time where my administrative skills needed to come in place to get some things done for my dad. And I had to learn, no, I can't do that. And because my dad was asking me to do unreasonable things, right? So I had to say no. And then I had to schedule things. And then I had to ask for help. I had to ask people to help me. I had to humble myself and admit that I can't do it all. Oh God, I can't do it all. That's an epiphany. I can't do it all. Do you believe that? I can't believe that. Can you believe that? Can you do it all? I couldn't do it all. I had to call somebody for Medicare. I had to call folks for to have a somebody come to the house. I had to find somebody, and I went into a realm I knew nothing about. While I felt accomplished that things were happening because of my overachieving personality, and that comes from trauma of telling myself that I'm not an achiever. Um, I was beginning to lose myself in all of it. So I asked for help. That asking for help right there took a lot of burden off of me. A lot. You got to ask for help. The next thing you do is you take time for yourself. So we're going to talk about self-care isn't being selfish, right? And so self-care and the Superwoman syndrome do not go in the same place. You have no time for you. So you looking crazy, smelling crazy. You just out here running around being everybody for everything for everybody. So you have to be that for you. So one thing that I will say is that I schedule time in my schedule because at this point in my life, I'm on a schedule. Um, I schedule a time for myself. I don't want to talk. I don't want to communicate. I don't want to be friends. I want to sit here and do nothing or walk or do whatever it is that I want to do. Whatever you feel like rejuvenates you. Scheduling time for you is also scheduling time in your day. Take breaks. I did property management for 20 years, and 8 of those years I was a manager of some sort. I ate through my lunch break most of the time. I stayed late 90% of the time. My hours weren't like everyone else's. I'm burning the midnight clock. For what? Why? What am I looking to achieve? And then what I get a trophy, I get an award, I get extra money, and I am an overachiever. So this is great. Like, I'm getting bonuses on my checks and all this stuff because I'm great. Because I am overachieving and my kids don't see me. What did I really accomplish? Nothing. So I said that to say, now you put yourself on a schedule and you schedule your breaks. If you have a job where they schedule a break for you, take one 15-minute break and call whoever, do whatever. But there's another 15-minute break. You don't need to call nobody. You need to sit there in your own thoughts and take some time for you. I have a ritual at night that when I take a shower, I put my little self-care routine is to lotion my body and put something on my feet, like Vaseline or baby oil or something on my feet. That's my time to massage myself, and I take my time and put it on my feet. But I had to get there, right? I had to get to a place where I was hospitalized so many times that something had to give, right? I was in a mental institution. Something had to give. One day, that's it. But still, that was a breakdown to be in a mental institution because you think you, and literally, sidebar, I told a lady when she was committing me into the facility was, I can't break down today, ma'am. I got things to do. It was a Thursday. I can't break down today. But I tell you what, I could break down tomorrow and I'll come back after I get off work and I can stay the whole weekend. That I ain't got time to break down. I got things to do, ma'am. Places to go, paperwork. I got people to pay. I got stuff to do. I'm important. I'm somebody. But not taking no time for me and breaking down mentally, emotionally, physically, it's taking a toll on my life altogether. I got this big old stomach because the cortisol and everything else I'm going through, fight or flight syndrome. The cortisol is just sitting on my stomach and I look 5 months pregnant. Stress is at an all-time high. Heart palpitations, depression, and anxiety. Still trying to save folks. Schedule time for yourself. Schedule time for yourself. 15 minutes a day here, working an hour and a half, and then a 15-minute break. That's what I do at work now. I work from home. I work for an hour and a half and then 15-minute break, hour and a half, 15, 20-minute break, take my lunch, and then hour and a half, 15-minute break. I'm not going to work myself to death no more. But now, all that time, all that stress is caused, all that cortisol and serotonin, all that, those chemicals in your head and your brain, that fight or flight and this and that causes brain damage. So now my memory ain't worth nothing. So then I got diabetes, right? Eating bad, drinking coffee, drinking tea, trying to stay up, burning the midnight oil, not eating right, eating fast food. Okay, so we got diabetes over time, right? So now we need to practice self-compassion, because once you figure out that you're the reason why somewhere deep down in you, the Superwoman syndrome is a trauma response. So you need to sit down and practice self-compassion. You need to be compassionate with you and allow yourself to make mistakes. And it's okay not to show up. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Lay down. It's okay. It's all right. Nobody is going to do do it. Nobody's going to do anything. At first, they're going to be like, you okay? I ain't seen you. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, I'm just taking care of myself. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. How you going to love your neighbor when you can't love yourself? You going to love your neighbor like you love yourself. That means you ain't going to love your neighbor. But a Superwoman, she probably going to love her neighbor, all her neighbors, and not love herself. Practice self-compassion. Be compassionate toward you. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself the leniency to not have to be everywhere and do everything and be everything for everybody. Because people don't care no way they're going to do what they want to do, and they're going to find another Superwoman. And you're going to be broke, busted, and disgusted, looking crazy and on medicine. No. So that has to happen. Taking care of you has to be a priority. The next thing is setting goals and letting go of the perfection. I don't think I like them. I like being like an overachiever. I like it. What about letting go? Can you let go of the Superwoman syndrome? Can you let go? What you think? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Can we let go of the Superwoman syndrome? Can African American women and those of you watching that is not African American that still has the syndrome, you gotta let that go. What are you letting go of? The image, the feeling important, that the self-talk in your mind that's telling you that you're not worth anything, and that you the only way to measure up to yourself is if you set these unattainable goals so that you can say, I did this. Because somewhere in you, you don't feel important enough that it's okay that you didn't do X, Y, and Z, and you can't be there for everybody. All right. So the next thing is controlling other people's opinions and not caring. I'll be back. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to take a break and I'm going to talk about the fear of other people's opinion. Getting past OPP. Y'all leave your comments in the section. Let's talk about it. All right, we back. All right. So, what do y'all think? Y'all give me some hearts. What you think about this subject? What do you think about this subject? What y'all think? What y'all think? What y'all think? Yeah. So now we're gonna talk about the fear of other people's opinion. How much would you say other people's opinion has affected you in your decision and how you have moved in life? I can tell you the fear of my family, my immediate family's opinion has definitely shaped how I handle life and how I handle things. I didn't want to be seen as weak. I didn't want to, they could do it, right? They didn't have all these other obligations. But I didn't want to be seen as weak. I'm the only probably one that's emotional, that cry, that feel, and all that. And I'm about a group of strong women, crazy women. I'm around that. So I think out of school, what are they gonna say? I divorcing my husband, what are they gonna say? I'm moving out of town, what are they gonna say? You dread what they gonna say. Because you know it's gonna be something negative, something ridiculous, something you're not gonna agree with, or something that's gonna confuse you. And then you're not gonna want to leave. You're not gonna want to move. You're not gonna want to explore anything else because these people' opinion matter to you so much. That has to stop. And then you manage demanding people. Manage people that are demanding in your life. And how do you manage them? Well, one, you limit their access to your personal life and you limit their access so that whatever they're demanding, however they're demanding of you, you set the limitation and the, watch this, boundary to say, this is what I can and cannot do. Church, this is what I can and cannot do. Children, this is what I can and cannot do. Work, this is what I can and cannot do. Parents, this is what I can and cannot do. Me, personal, this is what I can and cannot do. I can't go to school, have a full-time job, take care of my children, keep my house immaculate for fear of other people's perspectives. Um, Attend church, be in the choir, be in the praise team, be a usher, be a prayer warrior, pray for my pastors, pray for my family. I'm out of hands at this point. All these responsibilities, you have to be honest with yourself and say, listen, I cannot do that, but I can do this. And do whatever that one thing is to the best of your ability. You don't owe nobody to be everywhere and be every woman. You don't owe nobody to do that. You don't have to be every woman. No, we don't have to be every woman. We don't have to do that. Nope, we don't have to. Because here's the thing. Then what? You every woman, and where does that leave you? It leaves you empty and depleted. It leaves you stressed out. That's where it leaves you. So, your cape, you got to put it up. Put your cape up. Nobody needs it. Okay? Put it up. Put it up. Nobody needs it. If y'all are commenting, I cannot see it. I got to figure out where they are. So I just want you guys to know I'm not ignoring you. I just can't see it. We'll figure that out. Anyway, I hope that this has been informative. Y'all leave me some hearts or something. I hope this has been informative. I hope that you learned something tonight, and that you can be reflective and look this up and see if you have the Superwoman syndrome. Because Superwoman, it's time to save yourself. It's time for you to schedule in things. It's time for you to manage the people in your life. It's time for you to get rid of the stress. It's time for you to move forward in your life. And it's time for you to stop being Superwoman. You have to save yourself now. Whatever's left of whatever we have given away, save yourself. And it's not being selfish. It's not. Because you can still do everything you enjoy doing and learn to say no to the things that are going to make you feel a certain way. And I'll tell you, if your family members or friends or whoever, workmates, want you to go out, have you ever done something for someone and you didn't want to do it? But you did it because they wanted you to. And you really wanted to say no. Say no. They'll get over it. If they stop speaking, who cares? They'll get over it. They'll be okay. Say no. I'm staying home. I can't go. Listen, y'all, I know this was a little bit serious, but this has been another edition of Anjanette Speaks, the real, the raw, and the inspiring. Thank you so much for listening. I got a few announcements. If you are in the San Antonio area, you need to meet me at 9200 Broadway. We are having an event for the intercessors, prayer warriors, people that are distracted, dismayed, and discouraged. We want to go before God and worship. We are going to pray and worship and get that time in and realign with God. This is happening Saturday, April 23rd at 11 a.m. That's going to start time 11 a.m. We're going to align, we're going to refresh, and we're going to leave there with a different perspective. This is called Broken and Restored Outreach Ministry. This is our first meet in about 20 years. I'm so excited. And I still haven't put minister on my name because I don't want it there. And Jeanette is just fine. And I want you guys to come out if you are in the San Antonio area, if you are just wanting to be refreshed, if you just want to sit in the presence of God. Guess what? 9200 Broadway, Suite 131 is where you need to meet me Saturday, April 23rd. Bring your tali, bring your prayer shawl, bring your holy oil, bring your tissue, and dress comfortable because we will be in the house. Also, I have a book coming out. It's not my book. I'm part of a compilation book. It is called Unmuted. I have given a chapter in that book about my life and about being buried on all of my stuff and having to pick up the pieces of my life slowly but surely and cutting myself along the way. You want to grab that book. There's so many amazing stories in that book. You can find that link on my Facebook page at Anjanette N. Wilson. I appreciate you guys giving me your 37 minutes of your time tonight. I'm sure that you have so many things that you could have been doing, but you stopped by to see your girl, so I appreciate it. Y'all have an amazing night, and thank you for tuning in to Anjanette Speaks, the real, the raw, and the inspiring.